So I apologize, but I'm having a lot of trouble with the GoPros staying charged. I got a backpack filled with batteries and stuff, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some work and then I'm gonna check in with you to check on the progress. I'll get a little bit of machine time footage, but this GoPro, every time it stays running for a long time, it cuts out and dies. And then I can't turn it back on for a while till it cools down. So apologize about that, but it is what it is.
About the bucket cutting that.
Yeah.
That's alright, you can set it there, but
We were just shooting the shit with the concrete guy. He's a good guy, super friendly. He was telling me that truck is like a 1983, maybe 3 something. I don't know. Anyways, pretty cool. Now we're gonna switch it up. The electrician was here. We're gonna dig electrical trench. How's everything going so far?
lovely. Another day in paradise.
Oh, don't sound like that. You're giving people the wrong impression.
Yeah. It's Friday. It's 50 degrees in March.
Everything's going well. Everything's on track. Right?
Getting there. They took a pan view. A lot better than it looked a month ago. A lot better than it looked 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, everything's going well though. The floor guy did a nice job. He was here putting in the relief cuts, you know, for like if it cracks or whatever. I don't know how I know what they're for. I don't know how to explain it, put it into words. You guys know. So big foundation. Honestly guys, these big jobs, they seem like they're a headache, and I don't know if I'm describing it right when I talk, if my tone's right, but it's just a bunch of moving parts and stuff, and but that's how these jobs go. You have to do one thing and then you have to stop and do something else, and you have to accommodate everybody when you're doing all the digging. You have to work around other people's schedules. So as of right now, everything's going great. Everything's on schedule. Everybody's happy. James is happy, right? He's got a fancy new shovel. Look at that thing.
Oh baby.
That's the 4-foot excavator.
Yep.
That's your mini.
This is my new mini.
So anyways,
Cheaper than the payments on that.
we just had lunch. We're gonna go tackle this electrical trench. I'll turn the camera back on once we get a game plan about it. So I am digging the electrical trench. It comes from that pole under the fence, and it's got to come around, do a sweeping bend this way, and then it's got to go over to like where this pole is right there. All right, just shoveled off the tracks. Sorry I didn't get to film digging the electrical trench, but I had all these wires to look out for, and I was digging sideways because I mean that machine is awesome. It's just kick-ass, but the problem is, for what we're doing here, it's kind of big, so you got to pay attention. So had to go around this 2x4. The electrician's here now. He's laying out pipe. There is a septic going here, so they have to snake this around the septic to get to that telephone pole, because the septic's going in this area. So this is gonna go up under the fence, up the pole, and then it's gonna feed that house and then that house. Right now it's just feeding that house, but when they build the new house, you can see when they build the new house, you can't have wires running through it. So they're gonna take them down, I guess, and go this way. So that's what's going on today. Like I said, sorry I didn't get all of it, but the machine's kind of big to be digging trenches without paying attention around all these wires. So stay tuned for the next day. I don't know when it'll be, because see, this is gonna come over and feed this house. I'm assuming a panel comes in somewhere here. I don't know. I don't do that line of work, but I just dig the holes. So as you can see, you can't have wires going through your house. So all right, stay tuned for the next day here. The electrician's got a lot of his piping is all in here, ready to go. I guess they got to do from the house next. Now, so I dug all that with the big excavator Friday, but there's a lot of wires, and as you can see, and we gotta go, there's gonna be a handhole here in this corner. There's gonna be a handhole box, and then we gotta go down that dotted orange line. Then there's another box at the bottom of that pole, but I want to put some cones in front of my truck because there's some wood stove fireplace guy that's being a pain in the ass this morning. Instead of pulling in that fucking driveway, sorry for the language, but he's pissing me off. Instead of pulling in the driveway, they have a huge driveway on the other side, and this asshole chooses to come over here in the construction zone. Then he's like, can you move the machine? I got stuff to do. Oh, dink. Look at this. Look at this guy with his brand new saw.
I think there's enough.
Why don't they park in the fucking huge driveway over there? I'm gonna put this out here because we're gonna have to move forward once we get to the pole. If this guy ain't gone by then, I'm gonna rip his ass. So there was a locking pin, huh?
That would be fun for you though.
What?
Ripping his ass.
Rip his ass.
Allegedly, yeah, there is a lot. This is a locking pin.
So you gotta keep that locking pin with you at all times. Oh, you ready?
I hope this is on, dude.
Look at the electrician. He's like, is that the electrician? He's probably like, why the hell is there a wood stove guy in the way?
I hope this is locked on. That'll be fun. You wanna...
just go until it sounds expensive.
You're my fucking water guy, so you wanna grab the water?
I can't spit that much. Is that thing full? Oh my god, guy. Ugh. Another one.
That line's really straight.
What line?
The line I painted.
Can't paint a straight line. Looks pretty good to me. When I cross my eyes, it looks fine. Close one eye, looks great. I don't know, it looks pretty straight to me. It has a leak, and it leaked all the damn water out. In none of these houses, the water's not on any of these houses because they're all summer homes. So the water's shut off for the winter. But looks like he's getting into the puddle anyways. All right, I'm gonna go help him, and then we'll check back. All right, guys. Well, I guess I got to apologize for the cussing. Unfortunately, I was pretty ticked off at the contractor that was blocking us in, that was working next door. I had a conversation with him earlier in the morning when I first got there that we may be ripping up this road all the way to the telephone pole, and that I would be using the whole road, and he still didn't care, even though he had a ton of parking on the other side of the house. On the other street, they have a huge parking area and driveway, and he just chose to be extremely rude and just totally ignore me, so that's why I was mad. Anyways, this house here to the left of us is the whole reason why we decided not to rip up the whole road. James decided that it would be best to be respectful of the homeowner to the left, basically the driveway he's standing in now, because they are really good friends with the homeowner whose house is being built. So they asked us to be respectful of him. So James said, I think I might ask you to use your machine with the rubber tracks and the smaller bucket so we can dig a narrower trench, minimize the amount of damage to the driveway with the rubber track. So that's how we ended up using my machine instead of his large machine. Now, the power company dictates where you put the lines. Basically, they're going underneath the overhead wires. They have an easement, and they can basically put the trench wherever they want. However, James did a very good job of being respectful of the homeowner's property and his irrigation. And while we were digging this, he was very careful to help me by pulling the irrigation heads and the lines out of the way so I could get underneath them. And basically, after we were all done, days later, he came back by himself with his skid steer to backfill, and he put all the irrigation heads and the lines right back where they were. And I think in the summer, all they'll have to do is just, when they turn the system on, maybe just adjust the heads a little bit. Now, to the left side of this trench, there is an old steel gas line that runs through this neighborhood. We were a little nervous about it, so James contacted the gas company and got them to come back out and just double check to make sure that that line was dead, which it was. However, when the electrician was putting in his pipes, he actually had to go underneath it. So I went underneath it. We didn't rip any of it out. We just left it there. You could smell the old gas just bleeding through the rusty old pipe, but it was dead. Sometimes they still stink, but not a lot. And then what we did was, once we got to where the yellow flags are, that is the new gas line that it actually shows up on the plan. And it runs down the middle of the road, and then it splits off in the middle of the road in like a Y. It's not really a T, it's more of a Y. And you'll see in a minute here the flags. But what we did was we shoveled down by hand, and then I actually went down into the trench with my glove on and cleaned around it by actual hand. And we painted it out for the electrician. And then we put some flags in there and everything, because he has to snake the line, the power line conduit, right over the top of the new plastic 2-inch line, and then under the old gas steel line. So I actually enjoy doing this type of digging. This is really fun for me, because it's a little bit of a challenge to dig around gas lines. I know some people think that it's very stressful, but I enjoy it. So you can see here that we have to remove the broken pieces of asphalt, and I'm putting them in the back of my truck to go dispose of them. See the plastic little yellow flags there that mark out the gas line, and then it splits off, and then you can see to the left where it goes over to that house. Not exactly a T, more of a Y in the middle of the road. So we're gonna get rid of this broken asphalt, because there's really nowhere to keep it on site, being that this is like a small area. But at the same time, we're not too worried about the road. As you can see, I'm using the road kind of to scrape up off of it, because they are going to be repaving the entire road once the project is done. However, if we can keep a lot of the pavement there, it'll cut down on dirt traffic out through the neighborhood. So James came back later when he backfilled, and he swept this off really well. Now, if you take a look here real quick, when I spin around, look to the left, you can see how we just snaked that trench just barely onto that neighbor's yard, and my mini excavator tracks just barely on their grass. So I hope that we did the most we could. All right, this is how the trench turned out. We didn't get too much of the pavement, but the electrician's here now and is piping it all together, and it's got to go up the pole. That's the old gas line. We had the gas company here. That's an old like antique gas line. All right, we're not gonna backfill today because he's got a lot of work to do. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna caution tape off the end of the road, because these are all summer homes and everywhere is fenced in, so it will be completely contained. All right, battery's dying, but that's gonna be it for today. Gotta get the machine out of here. We'll get out of his hair, let him do his thing. And then, like I said, we're just gonna caution tape off there because the rest of it's fenced in. And then, because it all has to be inspected and okayed to backfill and whatnot.